Welcome to the Nicky Hughes Show, the place where we unearth pure gold in everyday stories. I'm Nicky, your host, and each week I bring you compelling conversations with real people that inspire, inform, and connect. Whether we're diving into the dynamic world of business with business briefs, exploring the mindset of champions with sports shorts, or celebrating the unsung heroes in local legends, this is your space for powerful, impactful stories from remarkable individuals. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's get started. Welcome to the Nicky Hughes Show. We're chatting with John Mannion tonight. John is a young entrepreneur from County Meath. John, you're very welcome to the Nicky Hughes Show.
Thank you very much, Nicky, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great to meet you finally. So tell me, who are you and why are you here?
Well, I'm John. I'm here because I'm a young entrepreneur who's finally getting to live his dreams. Finally now have a business that's making money. I have clients. Since I was a child, I've always wanted to have my own business. And it was, I suppose, a matter of time, a matter of when, not a matter of if, that it was going to happen. And finally living my dreams now.
And to ask you a nice, rude question, how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
And how do you know? Like, how does a 20-year-old know that you're going to be or you want to be an entrepreneur?
That's all I know. I'm 20 and I know nothing, and I know nothing. So I have to constantly learn and improve. But it's a secret in the universe that if you imagine yourself where you are and that you're already grateful for what you have in the future, that it's just a matter of you're not in that present time. It's only a matter of when it can happen. So I always knew that I'd have a business. I always knew that I'd be an entrepreneur. I talked it into reality. I knew at a stage that I was going to have this business. And I know in the future that I'll have all these goals. I've already thanked God for what I'm going to have. I've thanked God for the money I'm going to have in my bank account. I've thanked God for the relationships I'm going to have. I've thanked God for the cars I'll own, for the house I'll be in. It's happened already. I just am in that time frame.
So it's almost like you've already predetermined your own destiny. You're living your future already, and everything that you do now is focused on being that person that you want to be in 10 years' time or whatever it is.
Exactly. I've already imagined that I'll be a millionaire. I've already I've already dreamt it. Like Conor McGregor quoted one time, if you can see it in your mind, then you can hold it in your hand. So it's real. If you can see it in your mind, it's a real tangible thing. And it's something I'm very interested in, the whole subconscious mind, feeding the subconscious mind, manifestation, bringing your dreams to reality, all the above.
Cool. And are you from a business family, a business background, John, or what sparked off this interest in becoming an entrepreneur?
I suppose I would be, yeah. My dad is a businessman. He works in sales, and he's been quite a motivational factor in my life in terms of business. It was him who taught me about entrepreneurship and what it is. It's him who's always encouraged me to come up with ideas. It's him who's always reviewed my ideas and given me an honest thought. He's never just, wow, well done, that's a good idea. He's critically analysed whenever I have an idea. So I know when I come to him with something, it's either good or it's shit.
Yeah. And at what age did this start, John? Is it in the last 2 years or is it?
All my life. I'd say the first time I ever got introduced to entrepreneurship was when I was 7. I was on the way to one of my soccer matches for Laytown United, and we were driving up the back roads, and I remember asking him about who's his boss, if he works, and figuring all that out, being curious. And he said, well, my boss. I said, what does he do? And he said, well, he's an entrepreneur. And I loved the word. As soon as I heard entrepreneur, I said, wow, that is what I want to be. I didn't even know what it meant. And I said, I want to be an entrepreneur.
So what is an entrepreneur? Obviously, I know what the word is, but what does it actually mean in your mind?
It's someone who actively pursues their dreams, in my opinion. And there's a lot of people who are called wantrepreneurs, who want to do something and they say, I'm going to build a business, or I'd love to be a millionaire, I'd love to have XYZ, I'd love to have freedom. But in reality, they're not actually prepared to put in the work, what it takes to become an entrepreneur. And they're too scared of what other people think to actually go and pursue what they want. And it's easy to say, I could easily say to you now, well, I want £1 million. Who doesn't want £1 million? But are you actually willing to invest and learn how to make €1 million? Like, I was prepared back in September. I pretty much put the majority of the money that I owned in my bank account into a mentor program, because I knew if I paid for a mentor that he's already been where I want to go So a smart man learns from other people's mistakes. You learn from what they've done, and you can fast track what they've done in 5 times as quick as they've done it. And that's what's happening now. I'm putting everything he's learned. My mentor is called Adam Power. It's a group that there's many young Irish entrepreneurs involved in, people across the UK, Australia. And I've learned an incredible amount since being in, and I've networked. My network is crazy now compared to other 20-year-olds in Ireland. I have a superb network. I have great friends who are also in the same mindset of me, and we're all growing together.
And the friends that you've grown up with and the friends from your own locality, what do they think of John Mannion, the entrepreneur?
They've always known that I'd be like this. So there's no surprises here that, John started a business, that was going to happen. I've always been quite entrepreneurial from young. I used to set up Instagram accounts where I'd buy and sell secondhand watches. I used to cook, the usuals that a lot of entrepreneurs grew up doing. I used to cook neighbours' grass, used to wash neighbours' cars. I used to do all the above. So they seen this and they knew that I'd tried and tested many businesses. I've tried different things. And I also have a good friend, Shane, who has pretty much the same person as me in terms of what he wants in life. The two of us grew up together since we were young and just mutually found a love for business, and it's great. We can grow together. So all my friends are very supportive, although not everyone goes down entrepreneurial routes. A lot of them are tradesmen, electricians in college for whatever, becoming teachers. They're still very supportive of what I do.
So in your vision of your present life as an entrepreneur, does that mean that you're going to go through your life starting businesses and offloading businesses, or does it mean that you're going to have one business and be entrepreneurial in that one business? What does it actually mean for you? What does your vision look like?
I believe the goal is to systemize many businesses that can run without you. So a company is only valuable if it can work without you inside of it. So that's how you create ultra wealth, really, is by having systems in place and not being afraid to actually hire people and hire employees and hire people to put in charge, and back down from your ego of saying, well, I want to run everything, I want the power. Just hold on a sec, offload the work, offload the tasks, take that slight cut in pay to then build something greater. That's the aim. I want to have many businesses that can run without me.
And is it all about the money, John?
It's a large part of what I do it for, because with the money comes everything else. A lot of people say money doesn't matter and money can't buy happiness, but I think to actually achieve that happiness, and first of all, happiness is something that's so misconceived by so much people. Happiness, I'm a firm believer that, yes, I live a happy life, I'm mentally happy, I'm not in a bad place, but this whole notion of you have to be happy all the time is fake. A lot of times being happy is for when you're a young child. That's okay to be happy every day, but when you're growing up, you're not supposed to be happy every day. You're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to go through hardships, and that's what ultimately leads you to grow. So coming back to the question, yes, a large portion of it is to do with the money, but with the money comes freedom and happiness. So the freedom to actually be in my kids' lives, the freedom to actually have time to spend quality time with my future partner, the freedom to not have to worry buying groceries, being able to afford quality food, having a roof over my head that doesn't break in a storm. Things like that are the most important things to me. And with that, you need money to have that security.
Staying on the background piece just for a second, John, you're a sportsman as well.
I am indeed.
Tell us about that.
I play a lot of sport. I've played Gaelic football since I was 5 years old. I played football with me all the way up from the age of 13 till my last year of under 20s, which was last year. So up until I was 20 years of age. So what's that? About 7 years straight of county football. Now obviously there was COVID in between. But playing sport at a high level taught me pretty quick that there's going to be a lot of challenges that you have to overcome and a lot of hardship. It's not easy at all to train through 7 different winters, busting your guts to make a panel or make a squad, and doing it year after year with that consistency in everything you do, between nutrition, sleeping, not drinking before games, not going out every weekend, sometimes saying no to going to parties, sometimes saying no to going to the pub with the lads on a weekend. And that is tough, but you have to decide you're tough. There's 2 different types of, difficult, let's say, in life. It's difficult to train hard and eat well, but then it's also a great feeling when you accomplish your goals. Whereas you know, it's easy and a great feeling to just lie in and have a few pints and eat like shit. But it's also then tough later in life. You're going to struggle because ultimately you're going to have really poor sleep. You're going to have poor nutrition, which will affect your mental health. You're going to be very unhappy in life, and you just have to decide which stuff you want to do. Do you want to get over and done with and out of the way and have a monumentally successful life? Or would you like to sleep in and have that pleasure?
Let's talk about your business. So what number business is this? This number, business number 65, or is it business number 3, or what is it? And tell me about the background of this business, John.
It's probably my first official business that is registered, and I know now actually how to run a business versus just buying and selling something or trying to make a quick buck. The business that I own is called J Media. We help companies boost their online presence through social media. So, for example, at the moment I'm working with a client, and in the last, I believe, 6 days, we've got over 1.6 million views just on Instagram alone. And when you really break down that number, like 1.6 million eyeballs on your business is just ridiculous. And from that, we got 2,000, I believe, between 2,800 and 3,500 signups to the website that we're promoting for this company.
Okay. So I fully understand if you don't want to mention the company, but if you do want to mention the company, that's equally cool. But I'm interested in the process. So I'm interested in how you signed up that company as a client, what you did for that company as a client of yours, and what is the payback? So how does it all work?
Well, first of all, I got the client speaking back on that whole speaking things into reality. I did a radio interview like this on my business, promoting it, and the client heard it on his way into work, and he contacted me via LinkedIn, and basically we kicked it off from there. He approached me, we got working together, we put a plan in place, so I met him and we discussed all the facts and figures of goals and things that we want to reach. That was actually at a stage where I probably was just starting to make some money in my business, and that was my real opportunity to take things to the next level. So I went into their office, I spoke to them, and then I started only there last week, and I looked at what they were doing, what their editors were putting together, what they were currently doing, what their plans were for the future. And I basically just was like, no, this is what we need to do. So different editing styles, they weren't putting any captions on videos, they weren't optimizing for different platforms, they were hardly posting. Straight away, I said, switch up the way that they were editing. We optimized them for the different platforms. Like TikTok would be a kind of raw platform that people like to see the raw side of things. It was a TV show that we're promoting. They like to see the raw side, behind the scenes, challenges sort of aspects of it. And then Instagram might be a slightly more polished clips from the show, the challengers doing their exercises but edited in a specific way. I got all that in place. Straight away, the first video that I posted with them got over 250,000 views.
So when you first talked to the owner or the marketing people within that business, that client's business, what did you tell them, or how did you explain your business? What did you promote yourself as, and did they understand what you were talking about?
They understood it because they were actively looking for it. But for new businesses that don't really understand what I do, is I will help you to grow your follower base, your view count, all sorts of aspects of social marketing, some ideas as well, promotions. I'll give the full run through, done for you, speaking about how you can integrate different trends and different types of video content into your business. What's the best way to optimize for the different platforms? And then from there, we'll work together on putting out actual content and starting to see the results. We have a very extensive tracking system that we use. We track every metric. And from there, then we can pinpoint where we're going wrong, where we're going right, and what we can use for the next set of content and all sorts of stuff like that.
So in layman's terms, do you call yourself a digital marketing agency?
Yeah. Social media marketing agency.
Social media marketing agency. Okay.
Yeah.
And what gives you the credibility and the track record and the trust, and how do you engender trust with a new client, and what gives you the kudos to go in and offer these services?
Well, firstly, in 2023, I did a course in UCD on social media management. And from there, I started to do a bit of free work with clients. I did work for a juice bar in Drumcondra. I helped them to grow their presence. I helped them with their TikTok and Instagram. We did a promotion running for acai bowls. which were a very trendy food subject at the time.
Yum.
We absolutely flooded the place with customers because we did an insane deal targeting DCU students, which was near the shop. And from there, the place just flooded with people coming in for it. And owners were happy. And that's where you can see it's hard to actually track that direct investment from social media marketing unless you're doing paid advertising. But when you're doing a lot of organic content like I am, it is hard to show where you're going to get the return. But you have to think of it not as you're getting a direct return from the post. Sometimes you can. For example, we got a direct return with the company I'm working with now because we got over 2,800 signups. We used a special automation that I set up to DM anyone who commented on the post a certain trigger word, and we sent them over the website and they all signed up. But it is a lot of times hard to show that return from organic side of things. But you have to think of it as your business's brochure. You have to think, if you don't have this in place, well, you're losing a lot of trust with customers and potentially a lot of people who are going to come do business with you, especially if you're online and selling products online. They might look at your website and just to trust that you're not a scam, because there's so much scams nowadays. They'll look at your socials. And if you have a good page with good quality content and stuff that they can fall in love with, and they can fall in love with your story and what you do, then you'll have repeat and loyal lifetime customers that will keep coming back to you. So you can't track that, but you just know from doing monthly tests of this and tracking your stats and figures, which any business people that I do work with are dedicated people to their business. They will do that. So it's easy to track it from there.
Kind of an unusual question, but you talk about helping businesses with their social media marketing and so on.
Yeah.
How do you grow your business? Do you need a social media marketing person to come and help you, or do you do all your own self-promotion?
I do my own self-promotion. And the best way you can tell if your business is doing good is if most of your clients are coming from referrals. At the start, yes, I was doing a lot of outbound outreach, and I will be doing that soon at the right time. There's times where you have to, hold on, I need to focus on the business doing right now. As you get that in place, you get the systems in place and learn how to optimize that, and maybe you start to outsource some of the work. Then you can look into scaling further in your business. So sometimes there is times where I'm absolutely not taking on any more clients. I have to be scarce with my time. You know, I deliver results. I'm not some scam agency that's just going to come in and promise you the world. I'm going to look, and there's people I've turned down working with because I know there's no results. They aren't willing to actually do what I'm recommending to put the systems in place. So I've turned down companies and I've had to actually say, stop, no, I need to focus on what I'm doing right now. I actually can't take anyone on. I'm at full capacity. And then we go from there again. That's how you scale up the business. So yeah, I will be doing outreach at another point, but as of right now, I'm full.
Okay. So if I'm hearing this correctly, the clients that you're working with now, because you're at that kind of startup phase of your business, the clients that you're working with, you could describe it as a high touch kind of service where you're spending a lot of time, a lot of physical hours with the customer, and you're also spending a lot of physical hours working on the various platforms that you're promoting, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So then you systemize all of that, you put in the relevant processes and so on that will allow you to automate a lot of this work for future clients. Is that right? Which means that you don't have to have such a high touch service with new clients, which means that you can grow your business quicker. Exactly. Have I got that kind of correct?
You've got that correct. And are also hiring A players inside of the business. So down the line, looking at hiring staff, hiring people that are just as committed as me to also grow the business, bringing people in. You know, I don't have an ego that I want to have full power of the business. I want my time. That's what, as I spoke on, that's one of the main pillars that I'll focus on. I want time freedom as well. So I'm going to bring people in to make this as a quality product as I can. I don't care about how much money I'm making at the moment. What I care on is the service delivery and how much clients I can actually keep on the same roster. I don't want 5 clients one month and they're all gone the next month and 5 new ones the next month just because I'm doing mass outreach and promising everyone the world. I'd rather have 5 clients consistently across the 6 months that are the same, and then maybe looking at what can we hire someone in here to do X, Y, Z, and I can then focus on scaling the business up to another level to bring the service to an even higher level, because eventually I'll get stretched too thin. I can't handle multiple clients at once. I don't want to be juggling them, and I don't want them to feel like I'm juggling them and just trying to make a quick buck off them. I want, obviously, they'll pay me and I'll give them my time, but I'm not making a quick buck. I'm actually genuinely transferring their business, because the most important thing in an agency, the lifeline of an agency, is referrals and testimonials. And if I don't have quality referrals and testimonials, well, my business is dying.
Now, your target market, are we talking about customers here in Ireland? Are we talking about customers anywhere on the globe? Talk to me a little bit about who your ideal customer profile is.
So at the moment, it's going to be customers that I can work hands-on with in Ireland, that either would come to me or I come to them. And then from there, as I can learn to put some systems in place, or even learn hiring wise, outsourcing, delegating tasks, then I could maybe look at expansion into US markets or other European markets. Not necessarily, because there might be language barriers. So US, UK, Ireland, all that sort of stuff I might be looking into in the future, working with companies from there.
And you're staying local at the moment in terms of your customer base. However, it sounds like to service those customers and to do the post-production that's required, to do the video analysis that's required, to do whatever you need to do to create the marketing package, are you doing all that yourself, or are you hiring from overseas to help you do that, or is it all done locally? What does it look like today, and what could it look like in 5 years' time?
It's all done by myself, yes. I actually have, as I mentioned before, I have that great network now with tons of like-minded people in the similar space to me, and I can get advice off people that I would have paid thousands of euros for.
Cool. What does your business look like in 5 years' time?
In 5 years, the aim is to have 5 employees working for me to only be working on the business about 10% of my time, so I can then focus on strategizing, on growing it and putting it in a different place and direction.
Where does the digital marketing agency sit in the big bad world of advertising and marketing agencies, if you like? So when I started out my career, had a lot to do with Leo Burnett's and Hill and Knowlton in London and the Saatchis and so on. So at that stage, of course, there was no such thing as a digital marketing agency. So are those big advertising and media agencies, are they still around? And if so, where does your offering sit in that landscape?
That's an interesting question. And something I'd clarify as well is I'm not an agency. I'm a growth partner. So it's different. I partner with companies to grow. I'm not just an agency that will look at you as another client. I actually am an official partner to your business to help you grow. So that's where I sit different from these big massive agencies who say, oh grand, yeah, give them that package, off they go. I'll be a partner of your business and I will be in your business, and together we will grow your business from CEO to CEO, owner to owner. I know how to grow it, and I suppose I stand out in that I'm young, I'm ambitious, I know the trends, I know how things work, I know the algorithm like the back of my hand, I know how to grow a company. Whereas these big massive agencies are quite outdated, they might use a lot of outdated techniques, and I actually can't see a lot of them surviving within the next 20 years.
What lessons have you learned? What are the big lessons that you've learned as an entrepreneur? And if you were offering advice to other people of a similar age, or even an older age or a younger age, that are looking to set out on their own journey, what are the key elements of advice that you would give them?
To be thankful for things that are happening in the future, and already thank God for things that will happen in your life. And that's a key to hidden manifestation, that you have to just know that it's going to happen and be willing to do whatever it takes and jump on every single opportunity you possibly can if it relates to that goal that you want, and forget about anything else that stands in your way.
You've mentioned God quite a few times throughout this discussion. So you obviously have a relationship with God, or that's an assumption on my behalf, but tell me about God and God's role in your life.
Yeah, like I wouldn't necessarily be someone who's looking to be a priest or goes to church every single Sunday, but I always heard a lot of top entrepreneurs, especially young ones, saying that they contribute a lot of their success to growing their relationship with God. And whether it is a spiritual man up in the sky, or whether it is just the universe that's God, or who knows what to say, because really no one knows. But just actually getting in the habit every night of saying a few prayers and being thankful for your family, your health, being able to exercise, being able to have the opportunity to actually go and try start a business, whereas there's plenty of people in third world countries who would kill for the opportunity to have a part-time job in the country that you are. You actually have the opportunity to go and pursue a business and make an exponential amount of money, and you owe it to yourself and you owe it to God that he put you in a situation that you can actually go and achieve your goals. Because at the end of the day, God is watching everything you do, and I believe anywhere I try to live my life that God is watching what I do.
Anybody who's ever listened to Simon Sinek, the great Simon Sinek, always start with why, will be familiar with the whole concept of a person's why, and I presume it's a concept that you're familiar with as well. But so why do you exist? What is John Mannion on this earth for?
I always try to think that I'm chosen, and not in an arrogant, cocky way, but just for my own sake. It's nice and a good head frame to put yourself in, that you're chosen and that you're meant to do something special with your life. I get a tingling sensation thinking about doing something special with my life and being different. And I just think it's mad that people don't actually go and try and achieve their dreams. And you only get one shot at it. So why not just do it while you're young and go for it? So my why, I suppose, then is to have security for my future children, from my future partner, that she'd never have to worry about anything. She has the freedom to do and pursue what she'd like. I wouldn't even like her to know that I have bills that I pay, that I don't have to worry anytime I want to buy my kids good food, that when they have a birthday that I'm not missing it, that I have that, again, time and location freedom, that I can experience all these moments in life without just working myself into the grave as well.
Are you done now in terms of your development? Are you the finished article? And if not, so what are you doing to better yourself? What are you doing to, I mean, you talked about mindset, you talked about physical fitness and preparation.
Yeah.
So what are those areas in your life that you want to continue to work on, and how do you prioritize those?
Yeah, I suppose, first of all, I'm 20. I know nothing. I haven't lived near enough life, especially adult life, to say that I know or I'm wise. I know nothing, and I can only just constantly seek improvement. That's why I listen to a lot of Alex Hormozy, Chris Williamson, listening to other entrepreneurs that have done what I want to achieve, and listening to Bob Proctor to improve my spirituality, reading non-fiction books. I'm reading a book, Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett at the moment. I have Richard Branson's biography to read, The Psychology of Money I have to read. I have to finish Atomic Habits, which is an amazing book that has transformed a lot of my daily routine. I have plenty of books to read. I've read Think and Grow Rich. I've read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've read The 48 Laws of Power. All them kind of staple books that will shape the life. I invest in myself. I invest in courses. I invest in things that I want to pursue, and I'll pay money to get there quicker. I'm just constantly seeking, learning and improving from there.
Why should somebody work with you, John? Why should somebody partner with you in their business?
Because I'm just as committed to growing their business as I am mine. Because that's the life of my business, is to, if I don't grow your business, my business fails. So do you think I'm going to take a step back and not grow your business because that means I'm failing in my business? Hopefully, if you're listening to this interview, you get a gist that I will do whatever it takes, and working with me would have, and it might be intense. I might, demand you to take a step up in quality and work-wise, and you might demand me to take a step up, but we'll definitely partner and work together and absolutely shoot you up as fast as we can.
You good crack?
Oh, I like to think. It might not come off so much in this interview. I might be quite serious, but I like to have the crack. I do enjoy spending a bit of time with the lads.
Because in the end of the day, people who are like each other, and people like to do business with people that they like.
Exactly. You buy from the person. And I know I've come across probably quite serious in this interview, but I do enjoy a bit of messing around sometimes, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, work is a serious business and investing is a serious business. And if I'm looking at working with somebody or partnering with somebody, you just can't be frivolous about it, can you?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you can't have fun when you're working, but it does mean that you've got to take it seriously, you know. And you do strike me as somebody who thinks deeply about yourself. You've got an amazing self-awareness, and the level of planning and detail and preparation that you put into everything that you do is quite amazing. So I think that if your partnership with prospective clients was going to fail, it's not going to fail because of lack of effort on your behalf. That's what I see.
Yeah.
You know,
if you have a shit product, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's why it won't work with you. But if you have something I believe in, and I could see you believe in it too, well then let's go for it. Let's do it.
How do people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me. I have a website under construction, but you can email me, john@jmedia.social. You can contact me on LinkedIn, John Mannion, or you can contact me on Instagram, jmedia.ie. And you can book in a call from there with me completely free. We can learn more about your business and what I do. As I said, at the moment I'm full, but that doesn't mean in the future I won't be open to working with more companies.
Great. Well, John, I have to say it's a real privilege to talk to you, and I've really enjoyed listening to your story, and I can't help but thinking that the young kid at 4 years old with meningitis has come a long way. You've already made huge progress, and I wish you all the very best and look forward to following your career path over the next many, many years. So good luck, and thanks for joining us on.
Thanks very much for having me, Nicky. Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Nicky Hughes Show. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with your friends. It really helps us to grow and reach more amazing people like you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to connect with us on social media or visit our website at nickyhughes.com. You can also follow the show's updates and get in touch with today's guest through our socials. Make sure to join us next week, where we'll be getting to know another legend from the world of business. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep uncovering the gold in everyday stories.